Could this tragedy have been avoided? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about an 82-year-old woman in New Mexico who called the police on her caretaker because she thought that they would use the guns they had in the house on her. Now, the police did show up. They observed what's going on. They saw the guns in the home. And from what I read, they gave him a compliment on the guns and they left without taking any action. Unfortunately, just 4 hours later, after the police left, she was proven to be correct. Before I say anything else, may she rest in peace and prayers out to the family. And the question I had from the very beginning still stands. Could this tragedy have been avoided? What could the police have done in that situation to prevent what happened from happening? Let's get into the news article and the news clip here to get some more information, to get some more details. If you want to see this clip and read the article, of course, I will link to it in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
There's been a law on the books that allows police to take away someone's guns if they think there's an immediate threat to someone.
Tonight in a Target 7 investigation, we learned one of the state's largest counties has never used that law. And some say if they had, an 82-year-old woman would be alive today. Here's John Carter.
So we're talking about a red flag law. That is what could have happened here. Now, I don't know what the threshold for using this law is, but let's see if they give any kind of insight on that.
New Mexico enacted the red flag gun law nearly 3 years ago. Since then, it's been used 51 times throughout the state. This is June Ann. Just hours before her death, she told police her caretaker had guns, and she was worried he was going to kill her. But a petition was never filed.
She's a hospice patient, and she's getting uncontrollable, trying to cry on the bed, and I can't control her anymore. She needs for her own safety to get the hell out of here.
This is Henry Cardona calling 911 in April, talking about Junann Fannell, an 82-year-old woman he had been taking care of for several years.
Does she have any medical conditions, anything we need to know about?
She's got a whole bunch of medical conditions. Get her the hell out of here.
Now, I don't think this is the guy that did it, but maybe it is. We're going to see. Now, if it is him, obviously there was some prior knowledge of a problem being there, but we're going to get into it.
Junann then gets on the phone.
Do you feel like you're in danger, ma'am?
Yeah.
Do you know if there's any weapons there in the home?
Yeah.
So Rio
Okay, so that was most likely him.
Rancho police officers and firefighters went to the home, and they find Junann in a hospital bed. They ask about guns.
You're a firearms guy.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
They're loaded. They're ready to go.
We don't need to see them. I see there's one probably right there in that case, and I
Well,
see
that
one
should
over
be.
there. I like folks that have guns.
Okay.
Because I have guns too.
Appreciate that.
So, yeah.
While laying on what would end up being her deathbed, Junann begs for the police to stay.
We're going to get out of here.
Please don't.
I appreciate
Please
your
don't.
really do.
And whenever you stay.
We can't, man. Yeah.
I mean, in that situation, what do you really do? Because ultimately, you're talking about it. He said, she said, I'm not sure who this man is. Is this I don't think it's her husband or her son. Like, who is this guy that is her caretaker? He doesn't appear to be what you think a caretaker is. I'm thinking like a home nurse. That's what I thought I would see, but I'm seeing this old man. So what's really going on? I think there's much more to the story that we have not seen yet.
Yeah, we
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
Then this was said.
What did you say?
I said, you're fine until I kill you.
He's threatened to do that.
They then leave.
Please.
Get out of here. Go away.
4 hours later, police get this 911 call from a neighbor.
The neighbor man was screaming for help, told us to call the police. He says he's killed her.
When police get there, they find Henry Cardona covered in blood. According to court records, he had just shot and killed Junann. He blamed the police for not doing anything earlier.
You're not listening. You didn't help me at all.
Do you understand the rights
It's all
of
your
reading you?
fault. You guys caused this.
I'm kind of lost here. I need to know more information about who this guy is, why he was a caretaker, why wasn't it like a home nurse? what's going on with the whole situation. And when the police were there earlier, it appeared to be like they were related and this is kind of just banter, and they didn't take what he was saying seriously about doing something to her. But she's like, yo, y'all please don't leave. So again, in that situation, what do you do? What is a proper course of action? Let's keep on going.
Should the police have done anything when that first call was made?
In this particular case, it sounds like there was plenty of information that the law enforcement had that would have triggered the implementation of a red flag law.
The Extreme Risk Firearm Protection Order, also known as the Red Flag Gun Law, was one of the most controversial pieces of legislation to be debated in the state capitol. It was eventually passed and enacted in July 2020 after 2 years of debate. The majority of sheriffs in the state opposed it and said they would not enforce it.
You're gathering on the platform of We the People.
The law says law enforcement and prosecutors can petition the court to have someone's firearms seized for a year if there is, quote, credible threat.
Now, I understand why the sheriffs don't want to enforce a red flag gun law because it can be abused. Somebody can say that, oh, ABO, he's over there making threats. He's talking crazy. Y'all got to go get him. He has guns. And y'all know I don't have any guns because they all are gone. It was a tragic boating accident. I don't have any more firearms. But somebody could use it against me to get me disarmed so I could become a victim of a crime. We saw that in Los Angeles where the guy was defending himself and his property, and then he has his concealed carry permit taken away. That's going to make him be vulnerable to people on the outside who know that he's unarmed. So I understand why they don't want to enforce it. But in this situation, clearly the woman is totally helpless, and there's a guy talking about he might do something to her. There's a conflict there. It's kind of like a domestic disturbance. If there is a woman who's talking about she's being abused or her husband is beating her, do you just go to the home, observe the house, and leave without taking any kind of action? There's got to be something done. But again, I don't know what the exact appropriate thing to do would be. Let's keep moving.
That they're going to do harm to themselves or others. KOAT legal expert John Day explains how it works.
There's a process for law enforcement to go to a court and get a temporary order saying, go get those guns, put them away somewhere safe, we'll deal with this, and let some time pass, let people cool off.
Target 7 combed through court records. We found in the 3 years the law has been enacted, there were only 55 cases in which prosecutors or law enforcement filed a petition. These 21 counties have never used it. One of them is Sandoval County, the third largest in the state, and the county where Junan Fannell was killed.
There's one of two reasons they didn't utilize it. Either they haven't been properly educated about the use of it, because this clearly fit within it, or they have decided, as some jurisdictions threaten they would do, not to use it. And if it's the latter, then that costs somebody their life.
Former state representative Damon Eli sponsored the red flag legislation.
If family members are killed, I think they have a lawsuit to be able to pursue the government entity for not using something that's going to save people's lives and save law enforcement officers' lives.
Target 7 reached out to the Rio Rancho Police Department's chief, Stuart Steele. He declined to do an interview. In an email, they said they were in the process of arranging alternative housing for Junan, and it did not appear that she was in fear for her safety.
Now, if they were trying to get alternative housing for Junan, obviously they knew that there was something wrong with where she was. So something should have been done. Some kind of temporary housing, maybe some kind of nursing home temporarily, just to get her away from the situation. Something had to be done in that moment because obviously there was a conflict going on. And again, it's like having a domestic disturbance where the police get called, the husband's beating the wife, or there's some arguing going on. They need to get away from each other. To show up to the residence and just to leave it, and the woman's like, hey, please come, please help, please don't leave. You got to do something. But again, I don't really know what the appropriate action would be.
You could read their entire response on our website.
So that's the video right there. And of course, this is part of an article as well. I will link to both in the description. So really unfortunate story. Rest in peace to the woman, 82-year-old Junan out there in New Mexico. And the guy who took her life, I don't know who that was. I didn't quite catch that. I don't know if it was a relative or a family friend or what. But you got another old man as her caretaker. Obviously, that wasn't the right person to have in that situation. The police were called. And it looked like They might have thought it's like a sibling type of thing. This is a brother or a friend, and it's not really a big deal. They didn't really take the threat seriously, but obviously there was a threat. And the guy, you saw him behaving one kind of way before the police came back. And when they came back after he did what he did, his whole mood changed. So obviously there was a problem. Was it the failure of the police? Did they not understand what was happening? Did they not take it seriously? Hard to tell, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what happened here? Do you think the police were at fault for not doing anything when they were called to the residence because of a disturbance, because of a problem? Okay, he's calling her. He's calling the police talking about get her out of here. She's saying to the police when they get there, please don't leave. He's talking about, I'm going to delete her. Is he joking? Is he being serious? Obviously, there was a problem. She shouldn't have been in the house. But to all the legal experts, all the legal leagues, all the officers out there, what should the appropriate course of action been? The red flag law that was there? I'm not a fan of the red flag laws, but I think that could have been a situation to use it. That most certainly could have been it. If not the red flag law, as far as taking the guns, get her out of the house, at least for a little bit. Get her out of there. He called the police and told them that. And clearly she's helpless. She's at his mercy. He has the guns in the house, so things might not go the right way. And even if not for the weapons, it could have been something else. He could have been physically abusing her with his hands and fists. She shouldn't have been there. I think that's ultimately my response to the whole situation. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.